So Philippe Coutinho supposedly wants to clear the air in talks with Liverpool as he begins to accept that the Barcelona move may be impossible. In essence, Philippe Coutinho is going to say sorry for his transfer request. He's now going to go on the long and rigorous uphill battle at winning the hearts back over of all the Liverpool fans. He'll try to make out that he's extremely happy at Liverpool. He may even go along the lines of saying that he didn't even really want to move in the first place. So of course we want Liverpool fan opinion on this. Going to read through some of the story here. But it says Philippe Coutinho is ready to hold clear the air talks with Liverpool as he looks to return to the fold with the Jurgen Klopp side. The Brazilian international emailed a transfer request to the club earlier this month. A request rejected by Liverpool after interest from Barcelona turned his head. Barca have had a number of bids rejected for the playmaker and have been surprised by the Anfield club's resolve. They have ended their interest in order to analyse other options and sound out Christian Eriksen's interest in a move, as well as talking to representatives of the Nice midfielder Jean-Michel Seri, with whom they have outlined personal terms, which all leave Coutinho in an awkward position on Merseyside, where he has been asked to leave the club, but looks certain to still be a Liverpool player on the 1st of September. And that little part there in the article there in The Independent, I think rings so true, where it says, awkward position. Now, I've been talking about this for many months, and I'll do it from a Man United point of view because that's my club. But I spoke long and hard about Anthony Martial last season when things were looking a bit shaky for him at Man United. Continually praising the fans, praising the club, praising their history, saying how in love he was with the supporters. I always feel they do that to butter the fans up. If they stay, it's great news. If they leave, the fans love them still. If they're thinking of leaving, his agent was sounding out a move to Seville. There was the possibilities of him going. He's never the bad guy. He leaves himself open for zero criticism from his beloved and adoring fans. Whereas if he hands a transfer request in, probably a better example is David De Gea. Clearly wanted to go to Real Madrid, but because he didn't hand in a transfer request, because he did nothing publicly, the Man United fans loved him. But if you do things like Coutinho did, like Wayne Rooney did, when you hand in these transfer requests, when you do things also publicly, Robin Van Persie when he left Arsenal, when you make it very personal, you express your reasons for wanting to leave. Raheem Sterling at Liverpool. I'll keep naming these. If you end up having to stay, your relationship with the fan group has always been and will always be damaged. And Philippe Coutinho finds himself in that really precarious position. How does he repair it? Of course, performances will help, but how else does he go about repairing it? Story then goes on to say that the Independent understands that the player and his representatives are ready to admit defeat and will look to hold talks with key Liverpool figures to smooth over the summer's events. People within the 25-year-old's entourage are pointing the finger at Barcelona for manipulating their clients and have suggested the new camp use their family members to provide additional pressure. I mean, instantly there, if I was a Liverpool fan and the entourage of Philippe Coutinho wanted to blame Barcelona for Coutinho's actions, I would laugh. Coutinho's had his head turned. There's absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. However, to blame Barcelona for him handing in a transfer request is wrong. To say he turned his head, they got his family members to put pressure on him. If he didn't want to leave Liverpool, he would not have handed in a transfer request. He simply wouldn't have done it. It goes on to say Jurgen Klopp has been clear throughout the saga that the player was not for sale and that had it not been for a back injury, he'd have been playing. When Coutinho is fit again, he is now expected to return to the Liverpool team, but not before some uncomfortable conversations. It is interesting though with Liverpool. I'd love a Liverpool fan's opinion on this because Virgil van Dijk is still a possibility. He could still sign for your football club. His behaviour hasn't been overly different from Philippe Coutinho, and I wonder the Liverpool fans' opinions on Virgil van Dijk now that you've seen Coutinho do what he's done. On the other hand, big well done to Liverpool for holding their nerve, having resolve. Jurgen Klopp being backed by SFG. It's great news for the Premier League if Philippe Coutinho still stays. I still have the feeling that Barcelona might come in again with another cheeky bid towards the end of this transfer window that's only just about a week away, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to go to some of your comments on this now, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think City's world record signing... Alright, I'm going to come back onto that one. Liverpool are mugs for not accepting 100 million for a player who doesn't want to play for them. They could rebuild their defence with that money. Do you know what, Gav? That's a really interesting point, and I don't actually think you're wrong in that. Again, I've said all summer... I've said it's great news that they haven't sold him outside of the UK. It's great for the Premier League. However, I'm not buying this Barcelona turned his head. His family put pressure on him. Coutinho wanted to leave. I'm not sure if Coutinho can ever quite get the same oomph, the same love, the same passion back for Liverpool that he had before putting in that transfer request. Wayne Rooney was never the same player after the first contract that he turned down. He was never the same player for Man United. Never quite on the same level. I think it put too much pressure on him. He could clearly feel the divide coming from supporters. And I think Coutinho should go still.